Welcome back to the Plus Money Podcast, your home for the best soccer bets in 15 minutes or less. We are through 2 matches of the Champions League. We have 1 weekend of club football between us and an international break. I'm Andrew Passaro. He's Nick Dianni. You can follow him at Nick Dianni. You can follow his podcast at Kicks Picks Pod. We're not going to talk about the Champions League. It has been a brutal couple days. We're not going to talk about, actually, you know what? We're excited about international break. That's where we're at. We're sad. We're beat down. We need a break. I need to go outside. Well, we got one last weekend of club football. We've got 5 games to look at. And we're going to start in Italy. We're going to Napoli on Friday afternoon. They're taking on Como, upcomers Como. A lot to look at in this game. Napoli on quite a tear, playing some of I'm so excited to talk about Napoli on this podcast because 2 years ago, they were making us so much money. Napoli in over 2.5 was the play all the time, and it's the play this week. Napoli in over 2.5, plus 105, lots of goals in these Como games. You can take the both teams to score and over 2.5 at plus 115. We've seen, I think, 4 goals in the last 3 Como matches. We're seeing Napoli start to score goals. Romelu Lukaku fits everything what Napoli want to do. We've got Kvara doing the business once again. We've got that all-Scottish midfield, Antonio Conte. Should be a fun Friday afternoon match between one of the not-so-great parts of Italy against one of the best parts of Italy. But what are your thoughts when we kick things off Friday?
I want your thoughts on Scott McTominay because I'm in heated debates with all of Twitter. I think he is a criminally underrated player. You've seen how seamlessly he's fit in with this Napoli side. I just want your thoughts as a not a fan of Manchester United, just unbiased opinion here.
I think the thing about Scott McTominay is at a squad like Manchester United, he gets lost on a because it's expectations. Is he a top 20 midfielder in the world? No. Is
Right.
he one of those guys? And Conte does this everywhere he goes. You put just this raw athlete, and Conte will squeeze every bit
Yep.
of raw athleticism out of a guy like that. And like he's a guy who has an eye for the goal, that clutch moment. Um, is he a top 20 midfielder? No.
No.
Is he
No way.
exactly what Napoli and Conte want? Yes. And I think he will have a big impact on this team as they try to make it back to European football.
Yeah, he's having it
But
already.
that's
Thank you.
but that's why I like them in this spot. We saw all these games in the middle of the week. Napoli aren't playing that, and Como are so leaky. They're
Yep.
this, we've talked, you and I have had this conversation on this very show many times. I think you have that ticket, Como to go down plus 800.
Yeah, it's not looking too good right now. They have looked good. I have to give them credit. Maybe they're starting to play up to what everybody saw in them that I didn't. Not that I didn't see it, but just plus 800 on a team that just got promoted. I'm taking that regardless of circumstance. I'm with you here. Both teams to score minus 120, playable on its own. I think the over is absolutely in play. Um, you gave out the bets. So, the only things I'll also add are Lukaku at plus 115. I think he needs to start getting hot. If he's starting in this one, which I assume he will, um, he's got to look to get on the score sheet. Two straight games, I think, without a goal, 2 straight games where he really hasn't been involved. Um, always, always a threat. I think Como's a team that he's going to want to play against. Kvara plus 150 is kind of silly. He's been on a tear. And then if you want to look at Cuomo, Patrick Cutrone, plus 300, I think is insane for a guy that has 4 goals already this season.
I
Just
think he's the,
throwing it
I
out
think he's
there.
the I think he's the local boy on that team too. I think he is Como born and bred, which is
There you go.
must be nice. Must be nice. All right, let's go back to the land of rain, of sadness. We're going back to the EPL. We got 4 games to talk about, 2 on Saturday, couple on Sunday, and if we have time, I have one game I want to mention in Spain. Um, but let's start Brentford Wolves. I was on Brentford last weekend, missed out on the money line. I do think the value is there again because Wolves have been putrid. They are
Yep.
so bad.
Yep.
They did get something at home. They got a goal against Liverpool, but they have not been good, right? Been good. Brentford, a tough home side. But the play here for me, Brentford first half goal, minus 126. Brentford have scored in the first minute of the last 3 straight
Yeah.
EPL matches they've played in. So I like the value there. If your book has goal to be scored in the first 15 minutes and it's at like minus 120 or better, I think that's playable. I prefer to play it at over plus 120, but Brentford, for some reason, are a team that get off the hearts to fast starts, and let's try to chase some value in that one. But Wolves are terrible. Brentford are so. I would like to see them kind of get back to where they were a few years ago, where they were like a very good money line play against other like lower tier teams in the Prem. But We'll see what they do on Saturday. What do you like?
Yeah, you're gonna hang a plus number sign on a team that's at home against an inferior opponent. Plus 105 on the money line. I don't see really a need to look too much further than that. I think that's very solid play. I like the over in this game, minus 125, over 2.5 goals. Like you said, Wolves have been terrible. Brentford's been scoring. Wolves still capable of chipping in a goal of their own. 2-1 game to me. So over 2.5 is the play.
I love that. All right, we're going to Manchester City taking on Fulham. Manchester City, huge week. Lots happening with them, by the way. We got this De Bruyne. Is he injured? Is he not injured? Is he playing? Is he not playing? Obviously, no Rodri. And they're taking on Fulham, who people don't want to talk about it, but have like the highest chance creation rate in the Premier League right now. That offense is kind of coming together. Um, I think the play here is both teams to score at minus 112. Fulham have scored in their last three trips to the Etihad. There's no Rodri out there. Last week, I got the double chance for Newcastle plus 130 against Manchester City. And I think just the both teams to score play is the what I'm thinking here. I also kind of lean first half over 1.5 goals at plus 114. This Manchester City team is still one of the best teams in the league. They could still very easily run over Fulham, but the fact that Fulham, with multiple iterations of this team and this manager, have gotten a goal at the Etihad before in recent games with no Rodri, with City. Yes, were able to rotate some, but still City having to travel in the midweek. I think Fulham could get a goal, not a result, but get a goal in this game.
I like it. I really want to take Fulham +2, but the number is just not there yet. If it gets there, that's kind of what I'm all over. But yeah, I was actually going to say Fulham just to score is minus 120. I think that's solid. But both teams to score, squeeze a little extra out of it. I mean, the only thing that would hurt you is like a Fulham 1-0 or a 0-0. So yeah, I'm with you. Let's ride.
Okay, jumping to Sunday. Aston Villa taking on Manchester United. Manchester United we're taping this Wednesday night. Manchester United have not played Porto yet, but this is a watershed game for Manchester United right now. It's been said Ten Hag has this Porto game and the Villa game to figure things out for them. And if they don't get a result, he's going back to the Netherlands. United have won 3 straight versus Villa, very famously eating my lunch and that comeback against
Mm.
Villa on Boxing Day last year, where I think I had Villa in over 2.5 and Villa were up like 3-0 or something. Maybe I had Villa. All I remember is that I had Villa and over the amount of goals that they had already scored, and then Man United came back. I was not happy about that. Um, but I still think the play is Villa money line plus 130. They're at home,
Yeah.
huge home result against Bayern, and I don't think this is a letdown spot. This is Bayern. This is still Manchester United. Yes, they're not the Manchester United of our older brothers that I don't think either of us have because I don't have one. I'm not sure about you, but this isn't Manchester United from a decade ago. But it's still one of the biggest teams in England, and it's still a huge game that everyone's going to be watching. Everyone's going to be talking about. I still think Villa will want to get the result here. So I have Villa money line. I also like Villa team total over 1.5 at minus 115. They've hit that total in 7 of 9 games this season. Additionally, both teams to score, maybe something to consider. I don't know what the number is, but
Minus
both
210.
teams there. Yeah, then maybe a parlay piece. I
Yep.
actually, you know what? You can't put scratch that. You can't put Manchester United in a both teams to score because they've scored one Premier League goal. Well, that's at home. That's my Manchester United slander stat of the week. Luis Diaz has more EPL goals at Old Trafford than Manchester United this season. So, what do you like?
Same principle as we were talking about with the Wolves game. Hang a plus sign over a home team that's better. I'm with you. Plus 130 is a silly, silly number. If you want a little more protection, I like Villa minus a quarter of a goal. It's minus 110. So in that scenario, if there's a draw, you'll get half your bet back. So you are eating a little bit of a juice, but gives you a little bit of that cash back if United pull out some sort of result in this one. So I'm with you. Villa's the better team. Can't see them not riding off of the momentum of today's win. Duran's been awesome. Ali's been awesome. I just think this could be it for Ten Hag, quite honestly.
If Duran doesn't start and he comes off the bench, that's an auto play anytime goal scorer. The man has like 5 goals off the bench. It's incredible. And he was playing in the MLS like 24 months ago, 25 months ago, something like that for the Chicago Fire.
There you go.
Not an MLS team you would expect him to be playing for. Okay. There isn't a big game this week in the Premier League. There's no like top six take on.
And
There is
that's kind of a big game ish.
I think it's a great game, but I do think you have to be like a little bit of like a you have to know you have to have ball knowledge to realize that this is a good game. You can't be a casual and accept that this is a big game. It's Brighton, it's Tottenham. Um, I love everything in this game. I don't love the over actually.
Okay.
But I think you can play it. I want to start Brighton team total over 1.5 minus 113. They've hit that total in 6 of 8 matches so far this season. You also can go Tottenham team total. Do I not? I maybe I didn't write it down, but you also can go Tottenham team total over 1.5 as well. I think either of these teams, they both have that like push, push, push everything attitude.
Yep.
And there's going to be goals in this game, but more so than that, there's going to be shots in this game. Um, Brighton, when this game was played at the Amex last year, there were 19 shots for Tottenham and 15 shots for Brighton. And we could be looking at something very similar in this one. Tottenham are averaging 17 shots per game in English games. You can get 15 shots minus 130, 16 shots plus 110, 17 shots plus 160. You're averaging 17 shots and you're offering me plus 160 for you to have 17 shots. I'm taking it. Additionally, Brighton are averaging 15.75 shots per game, 15 shots minus 115, 16 shots plus 125. And then there's two streaky goal scorers right now on Tottenham. Brennan Johnson, weirdly enough,
Crushing. Yep.
scored in 4 straight games. Anytime goal scorer plus 290. And Dom Solanke scored in 3 straight games. Anytime goal scorer plus 155. Both of those streaks could come to an end Thursday in Europa League. But I'm just saying, watch out for those. Those guys are hot. We all know we were if you weren't there for Marcus Rashford after the World Cup when he was scoring every game for Manchester United,
All
I
right.
feel bad for you. But when a guy's got a hot boot, you got to sometimes keep riding the hot boot. What do you
100%.
like?
Yeah, don't also count out Werner, who I think has started to look really, really good. And if you're getting over plus 300 for him, depending on your book, and he's starting, worth a look. Um, Man, I'm on Tottenham here. I know this is like now the second or third time. I don't like to do this. I feel like we're on opposing sides. Um, but I think Tottenham's looked good. I think, I've said now for 5 weeks, 6 weeks, however many weeks we are into the season, that I don't really buy Brighton yet. I think they've proved me wrong more often than not. So good for them. So either this is the game where I chalk it up and say, hey, I'm wrong. Brighton's better than I thought they were going to be. They're better than I've been giving them credit for. But I just think Tottenham's the side here. Tottenham minus a quarter of a goal. It's minus 110 again. So if it is a draw, you'll get half your bet back. We'll lay the juice. I think Tottenham win this game.
Okay, I'm not going to disagree with you that I think Tottenham is the money line play in this game because I don't trust Brighton either, but I know that they're going to score goals. And
Right.
when you're going to tell me they've hit their total in 6 of 8 games, even yes, Tottenham played a bad Manchester United team last weekend. I don't trust their defense either. I think there'll be goals in this game either way. I really like the shots. That's what I'll be investing in more regularly with. But I am going to play the Brighton team total because it's 6 of 8 games. And yeah, a couple of those are Carabao Cup, but I still think that they'll put the
Fair.
number up.
More than fair.
And I know Tottenham's going to play open. Some quick trends that I'm noticing. We mentioned Brennan Johnson. We mentioned Solanke. Both teams have scored in Wolfsburg games, hitting ridiculously. Great parlay piece. Liverpool team total over 1.5 has hit 8 of their 9 games this season. Abde Ezzelzawi for Real Betis. 2 shots in every game so far this season for him for Betis. Not on target, just shots. Gio Lo Celso has a goal in his last 4 games.
Is that counting today?
Not well, no, they played.
Oh, I'm thinking Di Maria. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I just confused my old Argentines. My apologies.
Yeah. And you want a really interesting one in the Bundesliga? Gerasi has 6 goals in his last 4 games, couple braces in his last 2 games. He's plus 145 anytime they're on the road at Union Berlin this week. If he starts, that's a great number. Last one, real quick. We saw them today, another disappointing Champions League game. They won the early games. Girona losing to Feyenoord, absolutely brutal loss at the end.
Was
Girona
it?
have not won a game since September 1st. They are hosting on Sunday Athletic Bilbao. Bilbao draw no bet plus 115.
Man, I don't know what to make of Bilbao either. That's
I
a
know.
team I can't seem to get right. But I will
That's a
proudly plug that I did have the Feyenoord bet, and they were like plus 200. Like that was the one of the few games I got right this week.
I had Juve draw no bet today.
Also had Juve. We were on that together.
Um, but that my success kind of starts and ends there. I did have Bayern shots, but when I think about Bilbao, I agree with you because I'm like that with Atletico Madrid right now, where every time I bet them, I lose. And every time I don't bet them, I look like the sucker for not betting them. And I mean, it's like either I have to bet them every game and relegate them from La Liga and just take the L, or
We got to do it. Nah,
I
hey,
think I mean
somebody's got to do it.
we might somebody has to do it. It might have to be me, but I like Cholos to do Simeone a lot. But all right, that'll wrap it up from us. For more picks, go click the link below. Go check out Nick's podcast. It's a great show. Also,
Appreciate it.
great bets. They're gonna hit their 3 locks for the weekend. You can follow them at Kicks Picks Pod. You can follow Nick at Nick Dianni. You can follow me at Angel Passaro. We will not be back next week. I will be outside. I will be touching grass. It's also supposed to be one of the best college football weekends of the year. There's supposed to be a ton of rivalry games, so I'll probably be doing that. But if not, I'll be on Twitter. I'll probably be tweeting out parlays and praying that Chiesa does some magic for Italy if he got called up. I didn't even look up at the call ups
I don't
yet,
think they
but
made the calls yet. They usually do it after the weekend.
there we go. Well,
Yeah.
Chiesa deserves to be there. We'll be back soon. We'll catch you next time. Let's have a great weekend.
Thank you.